Here's something else I'm getting tired of in this country. All this ignorant bullshit you have to listen to about children. It's all you hear anymore. Children, help the children, save the children, protect the children. You know what I say? Fuck the children. Fuck 'em. Fuck kids. They're getting entirely too much attention. And I know what some of you are thinking. You're saying, Jesus, he's not going to attack children, is he? Yes, he is. He's going to attack children. And remember, this is Mr. Conductor talking. I know what I'm talking about. And I also know that all of you boring single dads and working moms who think you're such fucking heroes aren't going to like this, but somebody's got to tell you for your own good. Your children are overrated and overvalued, and you've turned them into little cult objects. You have a child fetish, and it's not healthy. And I don't want to hear all that weak shit. Well, I love my children. Fuck you. Everybody loves their children. Doesn't make you special. John Wayne Gacy loved his children. Yes, he did. Kept them all right out in the yard near the garage. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this constant mindless yammering in the media, this neurotic fixation, because that's all it is, that suggests somehow everything has to revolve around the lives of children. It's completely out of balance. Listen, there are a couple of things about kids you have to remember. Fine. First of all, they're not all cute. Okay? In fact, if you look at them real close, most of them are rather unpleasant looking. And a lot of them don't smell too good either. Have you noticed the little ones in particular seem to have a kind of a sour milk and urine combination? I don't care for that at all. Stay with me on this, folks. The sooner you face it, the better off you're going to be. Second premise, not all children are smart and clever. Got that? Kids are like any other group of people. A few winners, a whole lot of losers. This country is filled with loser kids who simply aren't going anywhere. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. You can't save them all. You can't do it, folks. You got to let them go. You got to cut them loose. You got to stop overprotecting them because you're making them too soft. Today's kids are way too soft. For one thing, there's too much emphasis on safety and safety equipment. Child-proof medicine bottles and fireproof pajamas and child restraints and car seats and helmets. Bicycle, baseball, skateboard helmets. Kids have to wear helmets now for everything but jerking off. Grown-ups have taken all the fun out of being a kid just to save a few thousand lives. It's pathetic. It's fucking pathetic. What's happened is, these baby boomers, these soft, fruity baby boomers, have raised an entire generation of soft, fruity kids who aren't even allowed to have hazardous toys, for Christ's sakes. Hazardous toys, shit. Whatever happened to natural selection? Survival of the fittest. The kid who swallows too many marbles doesn't grow up to have kids of his own. Simple stuff. Nature knows best. We're saving entirely too many lives in this country, of all ages. Nature should be permitted to do its job of weeding out and killing off the weak and sickly and ignorant people without interference from airbags and batting helmets. You're lowering the human gene pool. Just think of these ideas as passive eugenics. And here's another example of overprotection for these kids, and you've seen this on the news. Do you ever notice every time some guy with an AK-47 wanders into the schoolyard and kills 3 or 4 of these fucking kids and a couple of teachers, the next day the school is overrun with psychologists and psychiatrists and grief counselors and trauma therapists trying to help the children cope? Shit, when I was a kid, some guy came into our school and killed 3 or 4 of us. We went right on with our arithmetic. 35 classmates minus 4 equals 31. We were tough. I say if a kid can handle the violence at home, he ought to be able to handle the violence at school. Here's another bunch of ignorant bullshit about your children. School uniforms. Bad theory. The idea that if kids wear uniforms to school, it helps keep order. Hey, don't these schools do enough damage making all these children think alike? Now they're going to get them to look alike, too? And it's not even a new idea. I first saw it in old newsreels from the 1930s, but it was hard to understand because the narration was in German. But the uniforms looked beautiful, and the children did everything they were told in Germany, and they never questioned authority. Gee, I wonder why someone would want to put our children in uniforms. Can't imagine. And one more item about children, and that is this superstitious nonsense that blames tobacco companies for kids who smoke. Listen, kids don't smoke because a camel in sunglasses tells them to. They smoke for the same reasons you do, because it's an enjoyable activity that relieves anxiety and depression. And you'd be anxious and depressed, too, if you had to put up with these pathetic, insecure, striving, anal, yuppie parents who enroll you in college before you're old enough to know which side of the playpen smells the worst, and then they fill you full of Ritalin, fill you full of drugs to get you in a mood they approve of, and drag you all over town in search of empty, meaningless structure. Little League, Cub Scouts, swimming, soccer, karate, piano, bagpipes, dildo practice, I don't know what they're doing. They even have play dates, for Christ's sakes. Playing is now done by appointment. Whatever happened to you show me your wee-wee and I'll show you mine? You never hear that anymore. But a lot of these parents are burning their kids out on structure. I say what every child needs and ought to have every day is 2 hours of daydreaming. Just daydreaming. Turn off the computer games, the CD-ROMs, and the internet, and just let them stare at a tree for a couple hours. It's good for them. And every now and then they actually come up with one of their own ideas. You want to know how you can help your children? Leave them the fuck alone.